All right, guys. Good morning. Well, it's morning when I'm recording this, so take it as you will. Hope you guys are having a good day. I'm John. This is my channel. We're going to play Slay the Spire 2. We're going to do the Necrobinder, and I thought we would do a Doom run. I love the Doom mechanic. I think it's really fun. There's some key cards that we're going to need in order to make it happen, and I just so happened to get one of them on the get-go, and I didn't do anything with it, but I wanted to start with that so that you guys can see it. You would, when I play this game on, you go in, you start your game, you get your choices from the first god or whatever, ancient, on, the things that you can choose to start out with, like your burial gift or whatever in Dark Souls or Bloodborne, whatever. And, you choose one of those. And some of them are good, some of them aren't so good. Like the what's the cursed one with a greed is just like insanely bad. It gives you 333 gold, but it gives you a curse that you can never get rid of, a curse card. Anyway, I don't want to get into that because I probably already talked about that in the last episode. So we're going to continue on here. We are going to play Slay the Spire 2 as Necrobinder. So this is what happened. So we got these three options from our ancient scroll boxes, which for some reason, and I'm not sure if this is always the case, but the packs of cards sometimes don't go together. They're kind of random. So, meaning, I thought that the point of that was to get three cards, and maybe it's me, maybe I just don't understand, and I would I want to just put this out here right now. I'm not very good at this game. I can't think ahead like, okay, this card would work with that card, would work with that card, like three deep. I'm like two deep. Okay. So I'm like, okay, what increases our doom? Well, this card will play off that card. That's as far as I'll go, right? I play it pretty much at face value. So I'm not really very good at the game. Plus RNG seems to really fuck me in this game. Anyway, and probably you guys too, but anyway, so scroll boxes is weird. You get two packs of cards, so basically you get six cards to choose from. Two packs of three. You can choose the left or the right, and the left is three cards, the right's three cards, but they don't all seem to go together, so I never picked that one. The booming conch, I never do that either. I don't know how you said that word, conch. Conch. Anyway, because if I'm going to fight elites, I generally save that for the event. So what is that? So there's a timeline, and I don't think that we can see the timeline since we started this, but we'll go back to the timeline. It sort of gives the game a little bit of a like things to look forward to, like um, little trophies that you get along the way, little accomplishments, like you killed the boss 15 times, you defeated Act 1 with the Regent or the Necrobinder, you defeated Act 2, you defeated Act 3, but then you get bonuses for those. So if you defeat Act 1 with a Necrobinder, it will pull back to reveal maybe new cards, maybe new relics. So anyway, the Booming Couch is right out for me. I'm not a big fan of that one at all. Um, the Hefty Tablet I love because the Hefty Tablet gives you a chance to get a rare card. It shows you three and you can choose one. I really like that a lot. It adds an injury to my deck, which is a curse card, but injury doesn't do anything. It doesn't like cause damage, doesn't cause weakness, doesn't take my money. None of that. All it does is sit there, and I can get rid of it too. So if you mouse over this one, it'll show you injury. Shit, maybe I should move my guy here. Well, let's not worry about it. I'll just go like this for now. Right here. So it doesn't do anything. It's just unplayable. That's it. So there's no extra effects. In fact, we might not get rid of that for a while. Okay, so we want that one. And since we're playing a Doom deck, probably one of the best Doom items you could ever freaking get in this game is End of Days. End of Days applies 29 Doom to all the enemies, but if their hit points are at or below 29, they instantly die. That's freaking a great way to start because none of the enemies are really very strong. So in the early on and maybe the entire act 1, so this is a key card. It's a key card early. It's not such a great card later when mobs have a lot of when they have a lot of like hit points. It doesn't work so well. There's different key cards for that. But this is a great way to start. And since this came up, I thought, hey, we should do a Doom run. Okay. Sentry mode is also really good, but we're choosing End of Days. End of Days gives us an injury card, right? We saw that before. And so here is our act. We need to go up here, and our first boss is going to be the Kin, which are 3 dudes. We just have to kill the main dude. The other 2 dudes are just summonable ads. Here is our merchants. We only have 3 merchants in this one. Bummer. So the merchants are pretty much the only place that there it is. No, unless you get an event, where you can get rid of a card. So that's where we want to go to get rid of injury. But these question marks could also contain an event that you can dump a card, or it could contain another merchant, which then you could dump another card for money. So basically, we want to, since that's the case, I really, really like question marks because there's all these events can sometimes give you really powerful relics or something. Really good. So we want to do as many question marks as we can. That's the run that we're going to do in Act 1. So here's 3 in a row, and then we can get to a bonfire where we can upgrade a card. So that's what we'll do. So we'll start out and go this way. Not looking too far ahead, because if we were to come across an elite, we're still in Act 1, so we should be okay. Now these dudes aren't that hard. You guys remember that from the last time. We're gonna use Bodyguard to get Asti up. So Asti, or Osti, however you say this, he's like a shield, a meat shield. Not really meaty since he's all bone. But he'll take damage that I won't. Wait, that's not how it works. This guy's going to hit me for 4. Osti's going to take 1 of the 4 because he has 1 hit point. When we apply Bodyguard, Osti now has 6 hit points. Osti will take all the damage from this guy. But Osti will only have 2 hit points then. Doesn't matter. Unleash is a cool Osti characteristic or card. He deals 12 damage. He deals additional damage equal to Osti's current hit points. So he doesn't actually deal 12 damage. I think it's 6 damage when it's before it's upgraded. So it's 6 and then plus the number of hit points he has. So 6 plus 6 is 12. That's how much damage he'll do, and he'll kill that guy. So now nobody will take any damage in this first run. We'll use these defend because we have a point to use, so whatever. We get slimed, which doesn't do anything. We could use it or not, or ignore it. I ignore it. This guy has 14. He's going to hit me for 11, so we want to block as much as we can here and just strike 1 time. So he's down to 8 hit points. They're going to hit me for 14. I'm going to block all of it with Osti. And Osti now has 4 hit points. Each turn, he gains 1 hit point. Now we have End of Days, and that's pretty much it. Because End of Days is 29 Doom, and everybody is under 29, so they all just die. You see how powerful that is? It's kind of cheating. There's another way to start out that I really like. If you get the opportunity to put Glam on a card, it's insane. It lets you use the card every time. The first time you use the card, it hits twice. So if you put it on, like, I don't know, if you put it on End of Days happens 2 times for 1 cast, which is really good. It also takes away all your gold, which is only 99 when you're starting out, so that's not a big deal. So that's another way I like to start out. I really like that one. I also like the one that gives you more max hit points, and the one that gives you 150 gold. Anyway, we don't want any of these. These don't really go along with the Doom thing that I want. Dirge is actually kind of cool because it summons, which will give Osti more stuff. So you could do an Austie run. There's a lot of cards that go along with that, but we're not gonna. We're just gonna skip this shit for now. And to me, one or two card rewards opportunities after killing mobs is okay. If I hit three, I'm behind the curve. Then man, I need to grab a card. All right, so we'll go next. RNG sort of screws me, man. I swear to God. All right, we have a colorless potion up here we can use at some point, but I'm not going to use it for now. This guy's going to do 12. We're going to do defend, and unleash. Unleash does 7. Strike does 6. Unleash does 7 because it does 6 damage natively and 1 hit point from Austie. So there's 7 damage, and that's fine. Austie will die, but Austie comes back to life. Look at that. Amazing. And now we have End of Days. We're just a little high on the hit points for this guy, so we can't use End of Days quite yet. I mean, we could, but we would be done with our cards then. And I don't really want to do that. So we'll just buff Austie and strike. 6 is plenty. Austie will take it and die. I don't care. He'll just come back to life. As long as I don't take any damage. And then we'll just strike this guy because he's buffing himself. And now he's down to 10 hit points. He's going to do 14 damage, but we have End of Days again, which, that's it. 29 Doom, insta-kill. Orbic Acid is great. Oh, fuck. We didn't get anything good again. Asti deals 12 damage. Severance, 13 damage out of Soul. The Souls are these little, like, zero-cost cards that let you, when you play it, you get 2 cards. You get 3 if they're upgraded. But you can play a soul run. There's cards that go along with that in order to do damage. Ethereal is Fear is actually pretty cool. It deals 7 damage and applies a vulnerable. It's ethereal, which means if you don't use it, it goes away, which is strange, but it's true. So we don't want anything there. Another question mark, or the first. Gain 84 gold. Heal 19. We only down 1 up here. You can see there. So we'll gain the gold because we want to go to a merchant and buy stuff. Another question mark. Lose 26 gold, procure 2 random potions, lose 9 hit points, and choose a card to transform. This is where I'll do a save scum. I'd like to see what this card will transform into. Neurosurge, which actually is really good, but I'm not going to do it. So Neurosurge, you gained 3 energy, which allows you to do 3 more things, or 1 of 3, whatever. You draw 2 cards as well, great, but it applies 3 doom to you every turn. And it doesn't, oh, it does say, at the start of your turn, it applies 3 doom. So that means that you can kill yourself with doom. Okay, so we're not actually doing that. So really, you just do a save and quit and continue again, and then we can choose a different option. I don't do that very much, but sometimes when there's an opportunity to get a good card, especially in this beta, the mobs seem to ramp up really fast once you start getting some cards. So you kind of need to, if you want to get a run in, you could get really lucky with RNG, or you could do something like this, which is okay. So we're going to lose, and we're going to get some potions. They're both explosive ampules. I only have 1 slot for a potion up here, so I'm just going to take 1. Besides, that only does 10 damage, but it does 10 damage to all enemies. Okay, so we want to get to here, or we can go to here. These 2 merchants, one of the 2. If we went this way, we could go through our first elite. If we go this way, we can get through our first elite too. Which way has the most bonfires? This one has 1. This one has 1. They all just have 1. There's 1 here, and there's 1 here. But if, oh, see, we get to actually use this one. So that's actually 2. The main reason why I'm noting this is because we could upgrade cards here. Or no, we can buy cards and we can get rid of cards here. That's key. And so we're starting to get a good chunk of gold, 185. So we're going to go this route and hit these. I'm not really going to worry about The elites in this run, it depends on how the map is laid out. Okay, so he is going to debuff me. I think he's going to Beetlejuice me. As a matter of fact, we're going to summon, make Osti more strong. We're going to no, we're not. We're going to strike, and that's it. Because he's not going to do any damage to me. Why would we defend? However, if you have a relic that keys on skill, you want to use those cards so that you can kit that counter up. Okay, there, now we're Beetlejuiced. End of days, we can use it, but it's not really going to do anything. In fact, I think I might use it. I'm going to get 7 damage on me, but Osti has 7 hit points. In fact, 29. Hey, look at that. If we use an explosive ampule, now he has 23 hit points. End of days kills him. Nice, right? Nice. And we didn't get anything again. Okay, this is going to be a tough run. I thought I was starting out good when we got end of days, but it's not. 8 damage. Using end of days gets rid of that guy. Should we do that? I don't think so. I think we'll do a defend and we'll do just 1 strike. We want to get this guy down so end of days will actually kill him. So it looks like we're going to have 1 more hand without end of days, and then we'll get end of days. So we'll unleash him. Does 10 damage because he's got 4, 6 plus 4, right? We're going to take a shit ton of damage now. So let's see what this colorless potion does. Bolus and panic button. You gain 30 block, but it cannot block for 2 turns. That's fine. You know why? Because we'll have end of days before then. Okay, so we have plenty of block to block everything now, so we can get this guy down. Now he's within end of days territory. And we're going to get it? No, we're not. But he's going to do 11 damage to me, so we'll defend twice. He debuffed me, by the way. You cannot gain block from cards for 1 turn. Oh, shit. That's right. That was the card that we played. I thought we would get the card we needed, and we didn't. So now we're going to take damage, but no. We're going to waste our Orbic Acid. Orbic Acid gives us a random attack, skill, and power. It's really good. And so now we have Soulstorm. And Sentry Mode. At the start of your turn, you gain Sweeping Gaze. 0 cost thing that gives us... Osti deals 10 damage to a random enemy. Pretty cool. Apply 2 weak, 2 vulnerable, exhaust. 2 weak, 2 vulnerable, exhaust. Now we only take 8. It deals 9 damage, deals 2 additional damage for every other soul in your exhaust pile. Sentry Mode. Okay, so now we'll actually take 3 damage, because Osti has 5 hit points. Not that big of a deal, but... And there's end of days. They all have less than 29 hit points. End of days just whomps their ass. Time's Up. Time's Up is great. However, we need a shit ton more cards in order to make our Doom deck. But Time's Up is great, because however much Doom is on an enemy, Time's Up will deal that much damage to them. So if you could really pile on the Doom, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, then we'll go to the bonfire here. We're pretty good on hit points. If you look up there, 54 of 66, down 12. Not a big deal. So we're going to Smith. Why? Because we're going to make end of days better. Now it's dealing 37 Doom. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. 37 Doom, man. We still need more because it costs 3. And that's all we have. Okay, so we can cast Time's Up, but nobody has any Doom, so that'll do nothing. He's going to do 6 damage, so we're only going to block once. Actually, we'll block twice because we don't have anything else to do, and we'll attack that guy for 6. Now he's going to deal 14. We're going to bodyguard this guy, and then we're going to unleash him on that guy. Does 8. And then we'll block, and Osti will die, and we'll take a few hit points. 2. End of days, we'll get rid of everybody but this dude, which is fine. He'll deal 8 more damage to me. We only take 7. because we're going to rest soon, so it's okay. And that doesn't get him. That didn't get him into the territory. He's still 3 hit points ahead. So we need to defend quite a bit. We'll unleash. That'll put him in Doom Zone. As you can see, it's all purple right here. So he has 37 Doom and he's 32 hit points. So he'll die next turn. And the key about Doom is it doesn't happen until after the mob takes his turn. So we'll take that damage. It's kind of a lot of damage, actually. If we played that a little differently, we would be better. And you can save and quit and go back and play that again. But once the battle is over, you can't go back. Defy, Poke, High Five, none of those do anything with Doom. Our Doom deck is not turning out very well, guys. Every 10th attack you play deals double damage. All right, so now we'll rest. 55 of 66 hit points, not that great, but it's okay. Now our merchant. We have 258 gold, and here we go. It's happening. It's happening. So we need to get rid of injury, the injury card, but we're not doing it this time because there's too much goodness here. 258 gold will allow us to purchase 3 cards, I think. First of all, we're going to need Deathbringer. Deathbringer is great. It applies 21 Doom and 1 weak to everybody. It costs 2, but that's okay because I think it goes to 29 Doom if you upgrade it. Death's Door is fantastic. If you apply Doom in any turn and then you get this card and use it, you gain triple the block. So you will gain 18 block. And then you upgrade it and you gain much more. And Dramatic Entrance. Dramatic Entrance is great. It's an 8, which is perfect, which means it's in my hand in the beginning of combat, and it does 11 damage to everybody. It goes away, it's Exhaust, the Exhaust moniker, but it's a one-hit wonder, especially if you get, we'll get Dramatic Entrance every beginning of combat. If we get End of Days as well, this will knock all the enemies down by 11. End of Days, if that's underneath End of Days threshold of 37 now, we'll win, insta win. And now we're out of gold. So we can't use the card removal service to get rid of any cards. We're not really worried about that at the moment, but that was a really, really good merchant experience. Usually there's nothing there. Okay, so we're close here, 55 of 66. Incidentally, when you're here and you're trying to figure out what you want to do, you can still go back to the map and see how things are going to go. So we're going to go here, here, and then probably rest here before the kin fight. So that's unfortunate because that means that we can't upgrade our card unless there's an event here that allows us to upgrade. But I don't know about that. So we're going to Smith. This may be our only chance. Time's Up is really cool because of that Doom damage that it does. If you upgrade it, it gains Retain, which means it will stay in your hand until you want to use it. Which means you could build up Doom, build up Doom, build up Doom, knowing that Time's Up is in your hand and will never go away until you get to that threshold that you can use Time's Up, and then the Doom hits and you win. Okay, so, but we're not going to do that. We're going to do Deathbringer because Deathbringer applies 26 Doom and 1 weak to all enemies, which is really good. And since we're basically going for all Doom, that's what we want to do. Let's see what the question mark is. Okay, here it is. Heal 9 points and upgrade a card in our deck. How lucky are we? That's very lucky. Or enchant a card with Sown. Sown gives a card the ability, the first time you use it, to gives you 1 energy. So why is that good? Well, it gives you 1 energy. You can use another card. However, it also gives you 1 energy, and you can use a card called Burial, or Bury, which deals like 55 damage natively, and but costs 4. So if you don't have 4 energy, when you get Berry, you can't use it. But if you're able to do this, you get that fourth one, and then boom, you're in. So you would want to apply that to a zero cost card at that point. But we're going to heal 9 hit points, which is great, which leaves us 2 away. If we can get through the next combat without any damage, we can upgrade another weapon or another card. Okay, so what are we going to do? We're not going to do any of these because we're eventually going to get rid of all these. And Unleash and Bodyguard if we could. I don't know if we're gonna, but these are the only 3 cards we're probably going to keep. Out of here, there are cards that we've already upgraded. They're not shown here. So Death's Door gains 7 block. Is it 6 or 7? Right. So if we get an opportunity to use Death's Door, we'll get 21 block if we've applied Doom. However, we only have a few Doom cards right now, so I don't think we're going to do the upgrade there. Dramatic Entrance, we're definitely not going to, because if we're going to fight the boss, that's a one-shot card. We're never going to get to use it again, unless we get the event where we can get rid of Exhaust. But there's no more question marks, there's no more possibilities for that. So Time's Up is our winner. So we can build Doom and then use Time's Up in this fight coming up. That's the goal. We want to build Doom with Deathbringer and then Time's Up. The interesting thing about this hand right here is he has an artifact. It negates 1 debuff, which means that when I cast this, it doesn't do anything. But the next time I cast it, it will. Too bad so the way that the artifact works is it removes the first debuff. So if you have a card that does 1 weak, 1 vulnerability damage, 1 weak, 1 vulnerability, the weak will be blocked and the vulnerability will stick. This card applies Doom and weak. If it applied weak and Doom, weak first, then the weak would have been blocked, the Doom would have been applied. Dramatic Entrance, boom, and Strike, because he's not doing any damage to me, he's buffing himself. This weak will go away, unfortunately. And End of Days. So here's an interesting thing. Okay, now I don't like to do this because it seems a little crazy. However, if you're right before the boss and you're down some hit points and you know that when you rest at the bonfire next to the boss, you're gonna get a good amount of hit points to be able to fight, and you don't want to take any more damage. Knowing that End of Days is right here was the second card drawn, I could use Distill, which takes the top 3 cards of my draw pile and plays them instantly, costing 0. Now that I know I'm going to get End of Days as a second card, I can save Scum, save, continue, and when I get to this part, play that, and then that will play for free. I'm not going to do that, but there you go. So we're going to defend because he's doing 9 damage to me. And what else can we do? We can Unleash, which does a little more damage to him. We're going to have to do Death's Door. We're only going to get 6 block out of it, but it's 6 more than we had before. Plus, it stops all damage from this guy. And Austin keeps 2 hit points. Nice. Now Austin has 3. Austin's flying, man. Okay, now we have Time's Up plus. He's got no Doom on him because we really don't have any Doom. We don't have Negative Pulse. We don't have Scourge. We don't have a bunch of cards that we're going to need for this deck. Hopefully RNG is in our favor in the next act, because it's not in the first act. Except for that one merchant. That one merchant was really good. So he's going to deal 11 damage to me. What do we have here? A Bodyguard. So if we use this, we'll get a Bodyguard, because it's the only card there, plus 2 other cards that are from here that'll go into there. So 11 damage. I think we're just going to take it. We'll take 8, we'll take 3 damage. So we'll do that, and we'll do 2 strikes. To get this guy under the threshold for End of Days. And hopefully we'll get End of Days right here. No. But we got Death's Door. Okay, so now he's doing 22 damage to me, which kind of is a lot. So let's play the top 3 cards. And it isn't. But it's got us to a point where we can 6 times 3 is 18, we can win. It wasn't exactly the way we wanted to do it, but we gotta win, man. Scourge. Okay, great. A Doom card. God bless it. Scourge deals 8 Doom. Let me go up here and show you guys. 13 Doom, sorry. And then also gives us a new another card, which is great. So I think when you upgrade this, it applies 17 Doom and you draw 2 cards. So we're going to want to do that for sure. And we're really close to being full, so we are not going to rest. We're going to smith. Incidentally, my thought on resting is if the amount of hit points that you're going to get exceeds the amount of hit points that you can get, then I don't rest. Does that make sense? Meaning, I can only get 5 hit points and I'm at max. If I rest, I get 19 hit points. That's not a very good thing to do then, because what that's saying is I'm wasting hit points. So I should just go ahead and smith because I should. It's more of a, you get more bang for the buck. Okay, let's view our upgrades. Apply 16 Doom and draw 2 cards. It's not even a question that we're going to do that. Not even a question. All right, the kin, let's go. We have no pots. We have end of days, but it's not going to work right now. However, let's find out. It's still not going to work. 48, 47, and 179. All we have to do is kill this guy. But these guys, I don't think they come back if you kill them, but they might. So end of days does 37 Doom, and that would pretty much blanket these guys. It wouldn't kill them, but if we were to get it again, it would kill them. Or we can use times up, but if we use times up, we don't have any Doom, so that doesn't do anything. So we're going to do end of days. We're going to take all the damage, 13 damage. We have 61 hit points. This is the boss. There's no... You need to decide whether the damage you're going to be taking is worth the sacrifice or the other way around. The card you're going to play is worth the sacrifice and damage. Knowing how long you think it's going to take to do whatever it is that you want to do to beat the boss. Okay, so my thinking right now is I have 61 hit points. It's a lot. It's plenty. It's plenty. Not great. It's plenty. I'm going to take 13 damage to apply 37 Doom, and then probably in 2 hands, I'll be able to cast End of Days again and get rid of 2 of the 3 dudes. That's a good bet. Plus, he's applying Doom, and Time's Up is in my hand. And Time's Up does damage based on the amount of Doom the mobs have, right? And it's Retain, which means it'll always be in my hand until I use it. So we're doing, or End of Dazing. End of Dazing, that's not an adjective, but I'm saying it is, or a verb, I mean. So 37 Doom, 37 Doom. See the purple meter? There's a purple meter. Here's a purple meter on that guy. We're going to take all this damage. Don't care. Incidentally, if you had an energy pot, that would be really good right now. Deathbringer. See, this is where everything just sort of like compounds upon itself. Deathbringer, boom, applies 29 damage. Now, if you notice, the first 2 dudes are all purple. They're going to die, but they're going to get their hits off. The third guy is going to get his hit off, and he's a ways away. He's the actual boss. So we're going to defend because that's going to block 5 of the damage. So we're going to take 7, 8, 7 because we have Asti. Oh no, we have a debuff. The debuff, as you can see right here, was applied by probably one of these dudes. Actually, I think it was the boss. Which then removes or makes our block 25% less effective. So we'll defend for 3 because it's 3 damage. It's fine. End turn. So it's fine. It's fine. I mean, the damage we're taking is fine. We're down to 40 hit points, but those 2 dudes are They're dead. They're dead. Now we're going to take 9 damage. Do we really care about 9 damage? Let's Scourge first, because that applies more Doom. Now, here's the cool thing. We can do a Times Up, which does 60 damage, but that won't get the boss underneath the threshold of Doom. It doesn't apply Doom, unless we had another card that said when you do damage, it applies that much Doom. We don't have that card. What we have is this one doing 59 damage. So that does not get the boss's total hit points underneath the Doom threshold to kill it. So we're not doing that yet. However, since we cast Doom and we have Death's Door, we can use Death's Door to gain 18 block. It does 6 block. But if I apply Doom this turn, which we did, it plays 2 more times. So now we have 18 block. That's awesome. So now we can totally play around a little bit. We only have 1 more energy, which is unfortunate. I thought we might have 2. So we can either unleash here and do 7 more damage, or we can upgrade, buff him. Asti is unique, not only because you can do damage to him, but because you can use him to bank block. So there's a card when you're playing Ironclad, I think, that allows block to persist to all turns. I think it's called Barricade. So when you cast it and you block, the block that you have at the end of your turn stays. And so you can build block. And then there are cards like Body Slam that does damage based on how much block you have. Right? So there's a little cards that go together. All right, so we're going to bodyguard here. So we're going to gain some block because 18 damage, or 18 is way more than the 90 is going to do. So the 6 will stay. We'll keep Times Up. And now we can Scourge again. He's not going to do any damage to me. He's going to buff himself. So now he's at 95. So 90 and 90 is 180. So that kills him. So he'll never ever get to go again. And I'll show you. If he's got 95 Doom, I'm going to do 95 damage with Times Up. And that will put him underneath the threshold for Doom. And his at the end of his turn, since he's buffing himself, he's not doing damage to me. He just dies. 95 damage. Now he's underneath. We'll end our turn and he'll just die. After saying Kawa. We get 100 gold, a speed potion, and we're not keeping any of these. So, yeah. Spirit of Ash is good. Remember when I told you guys about those little ghosty things that you get for 0 cost that let you draw cards? Those are all exhaust. So if you had one of those decks going, I forget what those things are called, then the Spirit of Ash would be good because it would go with it. Call of the Void is pretty good. At the start of your turn, add 1 random cards to your hand and then it gains Ethereal. It's literally 1 random card from the set. This set. Transfigure, apply replay to a card in your hand, which is great. That gives glam to your card. It's like some of these relics are in cards as well. So this is like the glam. You can get like a relic from one of the ancients that gives you the opportunity to add like 3 glam to a card. Replay 2 to 3 cards. Replay 2 to 3 cards. Easy for me to say. So that's glam plus to 3 cards. And so this is a card that gives you the same thing. It's really cool because if you were to cast it, it only costs 1. If you were to cast it and it's on like Bludgeon or End of Days or something like that, then it happens twice. The bad part is it gains an extra energy. And if it happened on End of Days, we have no way to cast that because it costs 4 energy and we only ever get 3 so far. But that would be the only one that I would take. And we have 17 cards already. And we really need to get going with our Doom stuff, so we're going to skip all these. Let's look to see what our Ancient's going to give us. Upon pickup, again, 2 common cards, 2 uncommon, and 1 rare. Sounds awesome. Driftwood, you may re-roll each card reward once, which means that when you go and you kill a guy and it gives you those 3 cards you can choose from, you can be like, oh man, I don't like that, and do it again, and he gives you 3 new cards. Yeah, that's cool. Especially since we keep getting RNG screwed. That will help with that. Or we can transform Unleash into Protector. So this is your Osti deck. Osti, if we do Unleash, it does 6 damage plus how many hit points that Osti has. Protector does 10 damage and deals additional damage equal to Osti's max hit points. Osti's max hit points, not how many he has. Okay, I'm not going to do that because we're not doing an Osti deck. We're going to do this one just to see. Okay, this gives us cards. This, Negative Pulse, and a Scourge. Skip for now. Let's just take a look at all of them. Grave Warden, 8 block and adds a soul into our hand. That's awesome. Delay, No Escape. No Escape is a staple card in your, for all intents and purposes, for how I play and how I think No Escape is probably the most important card to have in a Doom deck. Okay, skip. Well, these 3 aren't very great. However, 3 cards we're going to take. And the gold card. Soulstorm, another End of Days. What happens when we have 3 End of Days, or 2 End of Days? Security mode and Soulstorm. Soulstorm is if you're doing that that soul deck. That's good, right? Sentry mode's cool because at the start of every turn you do 10 damage to a random enemy with Sweeping Gaze. But we're not going to do that. So we'll take Negative Pulse because it's a guard card, 5 block and 7 doom. When we upgrade it, it'll be 6 block and 11 doom. Very good. Grave Warden, block card. We need block cards, mind you. Adds a soul to your hand, which is a 0 cost card that lets you, which I explained, which lets you draw 2 cards. Very nice. Third one is No Escape. No Escape does 10 doom and 5 doom for every 10 doom already on the guy. Yeah. So if it has 50 doom, it does 50 more doom and 10 doom on the guy. So if you had 2 of these No Escapes, it's like the No Escape first time adds 50 doom to a guy, and then if you do it again, it'll add 100 doom because there's already another 50 on there. So this is a really good card. Here, Haunt, Fetch, and Pull from Below. Not really going to deal any of those. However, the End of Days, another End of Days is very intriguing. It's very intriguing. I say we don't do this because we really don't have the extra energy to use. So if we got End of Days back to back, or God forbid, in the same hand, yeah, skip all those. But we liked the other ones. The other ones were really good. So RNG didn't really screw us on that one. We have 137 gold. There's a merchant here, another one here. So there's 2 back to back pretty much. And that's it. And then we fight Crab Boss. So I like the 2 merchants, so we're going to go that route. But I also like these question marks, so that's how we're going to do it. We're going to go here, question mark, another mob, question mark. Because those question marks, man, could give you something really good. Okay, so now we have times up first off, so it has retained. We'll keep it through the whole thing. He's going to do 17 damage to me, which is a lot. This gives us 5 decks. At the end of the turn, we lose it. So that's good if you want to block. So basically, we would get 10 block because this one is 5. That's what we're going to do because we have to defend against 17 damage, and that's kind of a lot. We'll do Dramatic Entrance, which knocks it down 11. Drink our Speed Potion. defend, which gives us 10 block. So now essentially we have 11 block. Asti has 1. And so we'll take 6 damage. We'll unleash and strike. Now he's got 55 hit points. I'm taking 6 damage. Yeah. He's got a buff this turn. And because he's buffing himself, he's not going to attack me. So I can do whatever I want this turn, knowing that he's going to be flying in the next turn and I do half damage to him. So since I don't have to worry about damage, this is not a damage deck. Apply 26 Doom and 1 weak. Yep. Doom. Scourge, get 2 cards. Yeah. So the interesting thing here is if I was smart, I would have did Scourge first because it gave me 2 cards. And then if I got a better card than Deathbringer, I would have cast that instead. But I didn't, fortunately. So I am out of energy. No more points. He is going to start flying now. And he's at 42 Doom, which means if we get end of days, he's dead. We didn't. End of days is right there. It comes in our hand next turn. But we take 21 damage from this guy this time. So, Bodyguard, we're not going to times up because that isn't the point. If I do damage to him and I use all my energy, I won't be able to block and I'll take damage because Doom only applies, or the death from Doom only applies after the mob goes. So Grave Warden. Now we have 15 block. We'll take 6 more damage. That's fine. We'll hit him just for fun. Fine. Because we know we're getting end of days. So we took that damage. End of days kills him. We get our card back. No escape. He stole a card when he went up in the air. Whatever. By the way, if you don't kill him, he will run away with your card in like 5 turns. Oh, what do we do? 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 Negative pulse. 6 block, 11 doom to everyone. Deathbringer, 21 doom in 1 week to everyone. We don't have enough block cards. We should really take the block card. But it's another chance to get Deathbringer. We're going block. Okay, then we're going question mark. Cool. Choose 2 random common cards and add to your deck. This is another save scumming thing because we're going to take a look at those cards to see if there's anything good. If there isn't, we're doing Chosen Cheese. Chosen Cheese gives you 1 max hit point after every combat, but takes 14 hit points away first. That's bad since that'll bring us down to 30. No, 40. Sorry. Geez, I can add. And we have more dudes to attack before we can get to a bonfire all the way up here. So I really don't want to take Chosen Cheese, so we're going to hope that there's some cards here. And there is. There is, for sure. By the way, Blighted Strike is fun. It does 8 damage and then applies Doom to whatever you hit based on how much damage you do. So if you have strength modifiers, or you've upgraded the card, or you've enchanted the card, or whatever, or you have some other thing that says that if you do 5 attacks, the 6th attack is 100 or is like double damage. All that goes into account for the amount of doom that gets placed on the enemy. We're not going to use it. We're going to use a Scourge, and we're going to use Negative Pulse because those are fantastic. By the way, I wasn't sure that I read all those cards, so let's go back and take a look again. Save and close. Start it again. Reap is there. Reap is fun. It costs 3, which is expensive. Especially if I'm not getting any more energy. I don't have any relics that are giving me energy, like Happy Flower or anything like that. So I don't get that. Snap, man, we're not doing an Asti hand. So that's it. Negative Pulse and Scourge. And those are actually really good cards that I really wanted earlier. So Fine. This guy, who's doing 15 damage to me, will be stunned if I can block for 15. And I can't. I can almost, but I can't. Dramatic Entrance. We have no debuffs that we can give to anybody, like weakness, or vulnerability. So we'll cast Dramatic Entrance, knock everybody down a little bit. Now both these guys are underneath the end of days threshold. Everything is about end of days early on. Negative Pulse gives us some block, but applies Doom. Unleash is good because that does damage. And we still have 2 energies, so it's more than Strike. 7 is more than 6. Knock that guy down, and now we'll defend. We only have 12 defense, so we're going to take damage. The way it goes. So we're at 48 health. Death's Door is here, which is nice. Also, No Escape is here. He's going to do 15 more damage to me. We don't have a card that will insta-kill anybody, but we have 10 block here. Boom and boom. So we're going to do Scourge first, because Scourge could... Scourge could give us another block card. So we'll do Scourge. We'll do Scourge on him. Now he'll die to Doom and won't get to do anything. We did get another block card, but we also cast, which is more important, we also cast Doom. Because we cast Doom, Death's Door is now yellow, which means we'll get 18 block if we do that. Boom. Because we applied block, we get 3 times 6 is 18. So good. Now, here's the strength of No Escape. We've done over 10 damage or Doom to him. If we were to No Escape, it applies 10 Doom and then another 5 for every 10 that's already there. So it will apply 15 Doom to him, which gets him closer to the limit. No, that's it. We're not doing anything else. In fact, I probably should have not done that and did a bodyguard so we can bank some block. However, I know that if he attacks and I have enough block, he'll be dazed and won't have any movement next turn. And he's going to die, so we have another chance to get end of days. End turn. Now he's stunned. He goes away. We didn't get end of days, but he can't do anything. Because he can't do anything, this negative pulse is going to get me... No, it won't get me there. But the negative pulse and the strike might get us there. Negative pulse, now we're at 33. We only need one more hit. There's one more hit that gets him in the Doom range. End turn. He gone. Okay. We get pull aggro and delay plus. I like delay because it gives us a lot of block. And next turn we get 2 energy, which is really good. But we already have 23 cards. We don't want to get any more fucking cards. In fact, yeah, no more fucking cards. Okay. And we're going to get more cards. So here is the deal with this. I think I went over this last time, but this is really cool. Okay. So you pay 94 gold and you get the ability to divine 3 times, which I'll show you what that means. Or you can divine 6 times and get a curse called debt, which we're not going to bother with that. So here's what it does. You get this graph and you have this little, this block. Wherever you click, that's 1 divining. Okay. Like here, it pulls back to reveal 1 thing on the map. This is like a hidden little map. See that card? That is a bad card. That is a curse. However, there are 3 other good cards in here. Card rewards instantly. And card rewards actually. So card rewards act just like normal card rewards. I'll show you if I can actually get one on my 3rd one. I can't. So I've only uncovered 30 gold. Just do it again. Now that we know, okay, so now that we know that here's a gold card, right? Save and quit and do it again. And click here. And there's our gold card. Okay, we had click twice to get it, but now we know where it is. So we'll click somewhere else. There's another one. So now there's 2 card rewards. See, we click on the first one, we can choose between these 3, skip it, click on this one, choose between these 3. Okay. Those were bad. We're not going to do anything with that. But I'm going to go through here and I'm going to max out my clicks so that I get the most gold and potions, because we don't need any more cards. So gold and potions instantly. And we don't get any relics in here. So we're not going to worry about that. So just 1 second. I'll go through this. Be right back. You won't even know any time went by. Okay. So we got some gold and I actually got another Deathbringer. So we seriously need to find a way to get rid of cards here. And we did right here. Okay, so we'll get rid of a card finally, injury. Remember we got that in the beginning of the game? Oh my god, another negative pulse. How many negative pulses do we have? Our deck is way too fat. We have 3, that's plenty. We're not gonna do that. Death March, no. Defy, no. Flash Entropy, no. Okay, so none of these. And we have to keep all our gold so that we have the ability to get rid of another card. We have to get, I think, 100 gold to get rid of another card at this. So we might not get it. We might not get it. All right, so this is interesting. These guys have 60 hit points, but they also have 2 debuffs. Not good. Not good. So dramatic entrance. Wait, why did I deal 22 damage with dramatic entrance? You know why? Because this fucker's ticking off. Pen nib. Every 10th attack is double damage. When was that ever going to be useful? Well, right now it is. Get something down to 40 if we were able to do, if we had one more 0 cost like Omni Slice, End of Days would take care of them. No, it wouldn't. They have 2 artifacts, fuckers. So we're just going to block now. These are going to try to apply Doom, and they'll get rid of the artifacts. These have 2 artifacts. Each of these will try to apply Doom, and that won't work. But we'll gain 11 total block, which is good. I probably should have Scourged first, but I didn't. And then we'll Scourge this guy. We got Deathbringer. But that wouldn't have worked either because they had 2... what's it called? They had 2 artifacts. So, but it's interesting because you know that's the next card you're going to draw. So you might not want to Scourge. You might want to just end turn there. Take the damage, knowing you're going to get Deathbringer first in the next hand. We don't do that. But if you're against a boss, you might do that. All right, time's up is great, but not right now. We have to block another 16 damage. I believe these guys only do 16 damage every time. This blocks for 8. That blocks 3 or 5. So now we're at 13. We'll block again. Because really what we're doing is we're just waiting till we get End of Days again. Or an ability to negative pulse, which is what we want. So negative pulse is great because we have Death's Door. And you guys remember what Death's Door does. And the other interesting thing is, what would be better than this? If our guys, the mobs, were underneath the Doom threshold for End of Days, we may use this soul first to draw 2 cards, hoping to get End of Days. If End of Days is in our draw pile, which it is not, so we won't be doing that. But we need block, so we're going to block for 5. And Death's Door will give us a shit ton more block. And we're at 23, which is way more than we need. So now we can soul having 1 energy. And if there's something that costs 1, no escape, for instance, that would be good. Or Scourge, that does Doom too. Soul. And we got no escape. So if we use no escape on him, that will give 20 Doom. So he'll be under. He'll die next turn. This guy has only 7 Doom, so we're not going to do that. But we can also Bodyguard, which will bring him up. So we're going to no escape this guy, so he's under, because he'll just die. That we don't, 1 less guy to worry about. And he's going to do another 16 damage, which we don't really care about. We're going to probably Scourge first and not Deathbringer, because if we Deathbringer, then he'll be doing what? He'll be doing 30% less damage because he'll be weak. So instead of 16, he'll do, let's just say 11. Can we block for 11? No, we can't. So we'll take damage. So we'll Scourge first because we get 2 more cards. Ah, that was a waste of time. Really wish we can get rid of these strikes. Now we'll end up Deathbringering because that should kill him after, well, we'll take 14 damage. That's not good. 13 damage. That's not good. So we'll just defend. That's probably the best way to do that so that we don't take any more damage. Could have did that a little differently. Here's End of Days. That should do it. End of Days. Reap plus 33 damage now. As you go along with X, the odds that you're going to get an upgraded card are higher and higher. We're not getting any of those. We have way too many cards. Incidentally, we don't have 100 gold, so we're not going to go to this guy. Actually, we probably should, only because there'll be pots for sale that will be within our range of buying. But since we have so few hit points, 36, like half, we're going to rest over here. Now we're at 55 of 66, which is okay. We get a chest and a relic that gives us 2 additional cards at the beginning of combat. Here's a dude. Here's another rest. And as we look up, here's our boss. We can rest. Is there any question marks we can hit? We can hit one here, but we have to go against an elite. And I know what elite is in the second act. If we get that big dude, we're going to be screwed. So we need to get rid of some cards. Seriously. Way too many cards. Okay. He is going to summon a dude. Two dudes? No, 1 dude that does 21 damage every single time. Pain. A pain. All right. We dramatic entranced him. We'll negative pulse. We'll negative pulse again because this is applying doom. And then we'll no escape him, which applies 15 more doom. So now we're at 33. So if we get another no escape, they'll just compound on each other exponentially, which is the reason why I was trying to find more of those in that divine thing, and I couldn't. He's going to do 16 damage to me. He's going to do 6 damage to me. That's a lot. So we're going to Scourge this dude to get more cards, try to figure out what to do. End of Days pops up. I'm like, damn, I should have just defended. But also Grave Warden popped up, so we'll do that, and we'll do a defend. And that gives us 15, so we can stop this, so we'll take 7 damage, looks like. Yeah. It's okay. It's not great, but it's okay. Really, this fight is kind of like a problem for us, because we're not damage doers, and we can't get rid of this ad every turn. And because we can't get rid of the ad every turn, we're going to be taking that damage unless we can somehow figure out how to block. So we'll weakness him. He'll die, but he'll still do 19 damage to me. Death's Door, though, will give me 18, and he'll take 1, so we don't take any damage. That's fortunate. He'll die, but he'll come right back, which is unfortunate. Next turn. Okay, so we can do Time's Up, which does 75 damage. He'll be under the threshold, and we'll win. Under the threshold. This dude's coming back, but we don't care, because by the time his turn resolves, this guy will be dead. So that's the minimum damage, probably, that turn, or that combat. I don't know. Liquid Memories. Why is that so cool? Check it out, man. Put a card from your discard pile into your hand. It's free to play this turn. What cost a shit ton of energy that we basically only get to cast when it's going to kill? End of Days. Very good. We'll hold on to that. Pull aggro, fear, and poke. Nope. Doing any of that. We can heal up all the way here. Or we can go this route. So this is probably not. They're both the same, right? We have 1 combat, 2 combats, 3 combats. 1, 2, 3. This one, 2 bonfires, 2 bonfires. It doesn't matter. We're going to go this route just in case this guy beats our ass. Then we can rest. They might beat our ass. If we had 4. If we only had 4. Oh, we win. We win. This could be it. Actually, no, we're not going to use it. But here's what we could do. We can cast End of Days, then use Liquid Memories to get End of Days back, which costs 0, and they all die. Or we can Dramatic Entrance, and they're all underneath the End of Days cap, and that kills them. So End of Days is so good. And remember early on I said, hey, if we had End of Days in our hand at the same time that we have Dramatic Entrance, we potentially could kill them all. Yeah, there it is. And now we have Gambler's Brew, which is great. So the first hand that we get, if we don't get that combo, we can redo it. Okay, we don't want any of these. We don't want any cards. God forbid. Okay, so now we can... Here's the deal. If we're able to get through these next 2 without taking damage, we can rest the 3rd. And we can use this one to upgrade. We're going to have to rest at that one before the boss no matter what. Because we're only at 48 of 66. And that boss is seriously difficult. So we're going to rest. Because if we can get to him, then we won't rest. If we can get to him without taking damage, or maybe 5 at the most, we'll take more. We're going to take more. This guy is tough. But this guy is sort of in our wheelhouse. Because what he does is every card you play, he applies a debuff to us. So our cards are minus strength, minus dex. So our cards are less and less and less effective. However, we don't use strength because we're not attacking. Generally, I mean, we have times up, but we're not attacking. Plus, the first hand, there's so many options right here. I'm just thinking of them all. He is going to apply that debuff to me that I just mentioned. But in the meantime, we can do several things. We can use this gambler's thing to get the cards we want after we Dramatic Entrance. So we can theoretically Dramatic Entrance, get new cards, get End of Days, use End of Days, use this to get End of Days back, use End of Days again. However, if we do that, we'll not have these anymore, which would be really good for the fight against the boss. The second thing is it won't put him in the threshold for dying, because that will only do like 80, 70, like 72 doom total ish. But if we get no escape, that would put him over. So many options, ways to go here. First, we're going to Dramatic Entrance. No matter what, we're Dramatic Entrancing. Okay, so what do we want to do here? We can times up, but that won't do anything. We can negative pulse, which will put more doom on him. We're going to do Deathbringer because it also gives him a negative for this. However, it will go away for that, so that wasn't such a good idea. But now we only have 1, so we'll negative pulse because that gives him another 11 doom. And we choose negative pulse plus because it's 11. The other ones are only 7. That's it. And now he applied that debuff, and the debuff, you notice, whenever you play a card, I lose 1 strength and 1 dex this turn. He's going to do 21 damage to me. That's bad. So we're going to have to defend, and I'm going to take a shit ton of damage. Might have want to rethink that one. So I'm only going to defend once, knowing that we're going to be resting when we get to the boss. We're going to Deathbringer. So we take, 8, because Deathbringer also made him weak, so he did only 15 damage instead of 21. All right, so we have No Escape now, and No Escape is our savior. That's going to apply 40 Doom to him, and that will put him at over 100, but not enough to kill him. Time's up. Does 63 damage, and that will certainly put him under, but that only gives us 1 energy left. And 1 energy left would probably be... Yeah. It's unfortunate. Like right here would be a great opportunity to get like a Death's Door, right? If we had Death's Door and we use Scourge, we would get enough block to block everything here, but we don't have that. So do we take the damage knowing that Time's Up is going to kill him next turn? Yes, we take the damage, then we defend and just do it. Okay, we only get 4 for that. This gives us 5. So you see how that works? We have -1 dex, so using a defend would only do 4 block. But since it's not a defend card, it gives us 5 summon, so he's at we actually do get 5 block. And that's not such a great ending. 11 more damage, but not that bad. Not a negative pulse. This would be really good, but we have too many cards. 1 more attack, and we're there. This is good if we get End of Days, and we did. So these guys are especially nasty if you if you have a damage deck, and if you have no AoE damage. Every time you hit them, the maximum amount of damage you can do is 9. So that means he'll be alive for at least 3 turns. 3 turns. 2 turns. 3 turns. Right? Or no, they're all 3 turns. This guy 4 turns. But that is not... Doom doesn't get affected by that. So End of Days is 37 Doom, and they all just die. Key. Oh, the regen potion is good. But the move energy is better. That's better for the boss. Add a card to our deck? No. We're not adding any of those. Okay, rest up for the boss. 66 of 66. It worked out. See how this goes? Not a great pull, if you ask me. The guy on the left is going to be doing 18 damage to me. Incidentally, he does 50% more damage if I'm not facing them. So whatever I do here, I want to turn and face the guy who's going to do the most damage before I use all my energy. Right? Okay. So what are we going to do? Dramatic Entrance, of course. Of course. That doesn't really do much because this guy has 209 hit points. He's got 199. It's kind of a lot. But what can we do to ratchet up our Doom as fast as possible? Well, we're going to use Deathbringer because it applies weak. And it's only 1 week, which it would be great if it was 2 week, but it's only 1. Which then lowers the damage that these guys are going to do by 30%. So now instead of 18, he does 13. Instead of 8, he does 2. Or 6. Anyway, that's good. And they all get Doom. So we're still in this situation where the guy behind me is going to do more damage than me. But we used 2 energy on that one, so now we really only have 1 energy left. We can cheat and use this. It's not really cheating. It's a good thing we have that. But if I use that now, I won't be able to use it later. So this is not a dire circumstance or a circumstance where I can really take advantage of the extra energy. So we're just going to negative pulse. That just gives us 6 block, applies 11 more doom to these guys, because what we want to do is we want to start using the doom cards that we built into our deck. Like, for instance, Death's Door and No Escape. Those are our keys for this fight. Unfortunately, we only have one of each, and it's 23 card fat ass deck. So there's nothing really to do there. We can bring back one of these if we wanted to for free. Not really worth it. Probably end up dazing twice is going to be worth it. So we'll just take the damage that this guy's going to do. 6 and 2 more. Not a big deal. We're still at 58. There's our end of days. And we're going to end of days twice. Here we go. End of days. Drink. End of days. And that's good. So we did 37 and 37. Let's see, 40, 80. We did like 75 doom to them. 111 here, 111 here. Doom is such a neat mechanic. So we don't have any more movement points now unless we want some. So he's going to do 18 damage to me. He's going to do 6 damage to me. We can block 5 of it, but that's not that big of a deal if we use this card. So what's left? So I think that we're going to do more, because there's a chance we'll get No Escape. If we get No Escape, oh, that would be good. So let's do that. We're going to Gambler's Brew, all these things. And we didn't get No Escape, but we got Time's Up. And we got another Deathbringer. So now if we use this, we can use Deathbringer again. And the unique thing about Deathbringer is it's going to apply that weak, so we'll take less damage. Or we can use Time's Up, which will do 111 damage to this guy, and he'll be dead after he does his 18 damage. So you have to like try to say to yourself, okay, what's the best course of action here? Taking what, 24 damage, which will put us at 34? 24? No, 24 damage, yeah. Puts that, yeah. Or cast Deathbringer, which just lowers the doom, but he's still not going to die. Time's up. Now he's going to die after he does his 18 damage. End turn. We're at 35 because Asti took one. And now he's going to do 24. He's got 99 block. So you're not going to do any damage to him. Oh, no. Nor do we care. We have No Escape. No Escape is going to apply 65 doom to this guy. Now, he only needs to get 11 more doom and we win. We're not even going to do anything about this because we have Death's Door. That gives us 18 block. We're going to do Grave's Warden because Grave Warden gives us a soul. Or we can do a Bodyguard. Let's do a Bodyguard. I like the souls though because you get to shuffle cards in your deck, so the odds that you're going to get something are higher. And here we go. He's got his up arrow, but it doesn't matter because we're going to Deathbringer him. Now he's going to die. Oh, Doom decks are so good. End turn. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Okay. Let's find out what we get. Necromastery. If you're doing an Asti deck, that's a good one. Call of the Void, actually, it's just a good card. It's fun to play. It's not a card that I'm going to put in my deck, but if I had like 17 cards in my deck and I was going in Act 3, I would play that. Yeah, I would. This is great for an Asti deck, but we're not playing an Asti deck, so we skip all these things. This is the worst ancient. If there could be a worst ancient. He has one thing that's good that I found, but pretty much all the other ones are not. At the start of each turn, draw 2 additional cards. You may not draw cards during this turn. That sounds great, but that stops Scourge from working properly. Add 2 random curses and 3 wishes to your deck. That's stupid too, because that gives us two curses, which we have to get rid of, and then it gives us 3 more cards to put a card from your draw pile into your hand. Exhaust. Dumb. I mean, maybe not dumb for some decks, but for this deck, dumb. And so that would give us 5 more cards in our fat ass deck. This is insanely stupid, although it's really fucking fun. You instantly buy everything that the merchant has, which incidentally is kind of funny because there's a relic that you can get that replenishes the supply. I wonder how that works. It replenishes the supply at a merchant. So, for instance, we go to a merchant. I buy 1 card. There's a blank space right there where I bought that card. When I have this relic that says that the merchant doesn't run out, when I buy that card, another one's behind it. So what happens when I immediately obtain everything that the boss or that the merchant sells, and then he keeps replenishing, and does that create an infinite loop? And then the game crashes? I don't know. That would be interesting to try out. But that's crazy because you get everything instantly. That's crazy. So we're going to do this because it's the best one of the 3. And unfortunately, we must pick one of these, which is dumb because I don't want any of them. So we're going to pick Fiddle in our next episode. We're going to do Act 3, which, by the way, at the end is test subject. We're going to need some pots for test subject. We're going to need the ones that let us do things over and over and over again. Otherwise, it's going to be a short trip. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Please subscribe. See you soon.